Good afternoon, students. This is Reema, your biology educator from V-Learning. So, V-Learning is an online educational platform where we provide quality education for all. So, to get all the benefits from our channel, do subscribe to it and also share it with others so that someone will be getting benefit out of it. And don't forget to visit to our website, that is www.v-learning.in, where you will be getting all the live classes and the pre-recorded videos. So today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is your morphology of flowering plants. So we have studied, you have seen that we have completed the 4 chapters, right? So that is your unit 1 is done. So in the previous chapters, you have learned about your living world, then biological classification, then plant kingdom, isn't it? And we have also completed animal kingdom. So by this, we are done with your unit 1. Your unit 1 consists of how many chapters? 4 chapters, right? So today we are going to begin with the unit 2, okay? And under this unit 2, you have got 3 chapters. So chapter 5 is all about the morphology of flowering plants. So in this chapter, you will be studying about the morphology means what? Morphology means the physical appearance of an organism. So you will be learning about flowering plants, okay? So do you remember what we call the flowering plants? The flowering plants are called as, yes, it is called as angiosperms, right? So we are going to learn about angiosperms, okay? And so in today's class, we will see the root system and the shoot system. And this is your lecture number 1. So without any delay, let's begin today's session. So what you are going to learn in this chapter. So I always give you an overview, right? So what you are going to learn in this chapter, you are going to learn about the roots, okay? You will be learning about the roots, what are the various types of roots, then what is the function of roots, right? What are the various 3 types of roots, and also what is the modification of roots, why the roots modify themselves, all right? So next we will be learning about the stem, okay? What is exactly stem? What are the various function of the stem, okay? How the stem, they modify themselves and why they modify themselves, right? So next thing is your leaves, okay? So under this, you will be learning about what are the various types of leaves, okay? You know that there are various types of leaves and what is the function of these leaves. And you'll also learn that why the leaves modify themselves. So next you will learn about flower. You will be learning about what are the various parts of flower, what is the function of the various parts of flower, and also you will see that how the petals are arranged. You will be learning about estivation too. So next, under this you will learn about inflorescence also, okay? And next is your fruit, and the last one is your seed in this chapter. So in fruits, you will be learning about the true fruits and the false fruits, okay? And in seeds, we will be learning about the monocotyledonous seeds and the dicotyledonous seeds. So this is all about this chapter. We will be covering all the topics in this chapter. So without any delay, let's learn about roots today. What do you mean by roots? You have been studying from the lower class, right? The various parts of the roots. So what is this root exactly? Yes, the function of the roots, you know, mainly it is responsible for absorption of water, right? So roots has got various root hairs which helps in increasing the surface area. So in case of a seed, when a seed germinates, which part of the seed it gives rise to roots? You have been studying about the radicle and the pumil, right? So the radicle, it leads to the generation, or it produces the roots. Now what is the definition of root? You can write it down. What is roots? Roots are the parts of plant that grows downwards and holds the plant in a place. So what is the main purpose of the roots? The roots, they help the plants to hold together. They provide support to the plant, okay? So they are growing downwards. So this is a beautiful picture. You can see that this is the seed, right? How the seed is being germinating. You can see this is what, this is your radicle, okay? This is your radicle, and from the radicle, the seed is, the roots are being developing, as you can see. So this is a seed, right? So from the radicle, this roots, these are the roots, right? So you can see these are all the roots. Now where you will see the roots? You will see the roots when you plant, you just take it out from the soil. You will see the downward side, isn't it? The roots are always present to the downwards, right? So they are always present to the downwards, and they hold the plant in a place. They provide support to the plant. They absorb water. So the roots are responsible for what? They are responsible for absorbing water. And also they provide, they increase the surface area. So water and minerals from the soil, and often stores food. So roots are also responsible for absorbing the water as well as the minerals. You know that the soil contains large amount of minerals like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. All these things are necessary for the growth of the plants. So the plants, they also need minerals in the form of macronutrients and micronutrients. So there are different minerals available in the soil. So the roots, it is responsible for absorbing those minerals from the soil. It helps in the growth of the plant. The main root of a plant is called the primary root, okay? So the main root of the plant is called the primary root. For example, this is a plant. So this is a plant, this is having a leaf, right? So this is also having leaves. So this root, okay, this root will be your primary root, okay? So from here you will see several other roots are coming out. These are your secondary roots. So this root is the primary root, okay? And these all the roots which you can see here, right? These are your secondary roots, okay? These are your secondary roots. Clear? Okay. So these are all, so others are called secondary roots. Now, some more characteristics of roots. So it is the descending part of the flower. So it always grows towards downwards, right? So it is the descending part of the flower, and it is positively hydrotrophic. What do you mean by this positively hydrotrophic? Positively hydrotrophic means those organisms that require moisture for their growth. Clear? So that means those organisms that requires water, they require moisture, okay? The moisture for growth. So they are positively hydrotrophic. It develops from the radicle of the embryo during seed germination. As I have already said that the roots, they develop from the radicle of the embryo. So if this is a seed, so inside the seed will be having embryo. So the embryo of the seed, it provides nutrition to the seed for the development and growth. So this is the radicle. This part is the radicle. If this is a seed, for example, this one is your pumil, and this one is the radicle. So from the radicle, the roots develop. Is that clear? And from the pumil, the shoot or the stem develops. Clear? Okay. So they are generally cylindrical in shape. So the roots, if you see the TS of this root, that is the transverse section of the root, you will see the shape of the root will be cylindrical in shape. Is that clear? So yes. Next, in majority of the dicotyledonous plants, the direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root which grows inside the soil. So there are two types of plants. Some plants are monocotyledonous plants and some are dicotyledonous plants. For example of monocotyledonous plants is your mustard, okay. So and in case of dicotyledonous plants like your China rose, okay. So these dicotyledonous plants, in them there is a direct elongation of the radicle. It will directly, the radicle will lead to the formation of your primary roots, so which will grow inside the soil, and it bears lateral roots of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary roots, etc. So from the primary root, so for example, this is the primary root of the plant. So from here, many roots it comes out in case of your dicotyledonous plants. So this roots, okay. So this is your primary root, okay. This is your secondary root, and again from here some more roots come out. This is known as your tertiary roots, okay. So in case of the dicotyledonous roots, in case of dicotyledonous plants, directly the radicle leads to the formation of primary roots, and from there some more roots are coming out, which we call as secondary roots and tertiary roots. Yes. So you have been studying this one, that is the various parts of the flowering plant from your lower classes, isn't it? Here also you will see. So you already know the various parts of the plant, isn't it? What are the various parts? Now we are studying about roots. So root is one of the part. Then this one, okay, this one is your stem. So you can see this is the stem. Then this is the flower, you know that the various parts. This one is the fruit, okay. Then this is the leaf, and this are the roots. So you can see this roots, that is this main root is the primary roots. So from the primary roots, the various secondary and the tertiary roots are coming out. So this is the primary root, and this is the bud. And from the bud, what happens? From the bud, flower is being produced. So this is the node. I will show you what is the node. From a single node, the leaf comes out. So this is a plant. This is the flowering plant. Okay. So here you will see node. Okay. Here will be node. Here will be node. This is node. These are the roots. This is their primary roots, and from the primary roots several other roots are coming out, right? So this one is called as your node, okay. So from the node the leaves are coming out. From a single node the leaves comes out. So see this is the leaf, right? This is the leaf, and in between this node, so you can see this is one node, this is one node, right? So this is also node, right? So in between the node there is a gap that is known as your internode, okay? So this is your internode. Is that clear? So this is the leaf. As you already know, the plant will be having various parts. So what is the function of your leaf? You know, the leaf is responsible for preparation of food. So this is the these are the various parts of your flowering plant. Yes. Now you have understood about the various parts of the flowering plant, and you have learned about what is root, right? Now let us see what are the various types of roots. So the various types of roots are your primary root, So here in the primary root, it will come taproot, okay? Then fibrous roots and adventitious roots. So these are the three types of roots. So as you can see in this picture clearly shows the cotyledon. So in the seed there will be cotyledon. This cotyledon provides nourishment to the developing embryo. So this one is the radicle. So from the radicle, what happens? From the radicle, the roots are developing, and from the plumule, the stem is being developed, right? So as you can see, this is the picture. The roots are growing inside the soil. So it absorbs the various minerals and the water from the soil, right? Yes. Now let us see one by one the various roots. First one is your tap roots, right? Excuse me. The tap root is a large central and dominant root from which other roots sprout laterally. So what is the tap root? This tap root is the primary root. So in case of plant, you will see like this. So this is the plant, right? This is the plant body, let's say. Here it is under the soil. So this root is your tap root. The tap root is the primary root and the tap root will be thick, okay? It will be thick. So it will be very thick, okay? And it is somewhat straight. So see, this root is straight, right? So from here, some roots, other roots will come out. These roots are known as your secondary roots, right? Secondary and tertiary roots. So this is the large, central and dominant root from which the other roots comes out. Clear? Technically, a taproot is somewhat straight and very thick. As I have already mentioned, as you can see, the taproot will be very, very thick, and it will be what? It will be very much straight, okay? And it is tapering in shape and goes directly downwards towards the soil. So the primary root and its branches constitute the taproot system. So as I already mentioned, this is also the primary root. So primary root and its branches constitute the taproot system, and as in the picture, as you can see, in case of carrot, in case of radish, you will see this type of roots, okay? So see, this is a carrot, right? Radish. So turnip, there you will see the tap roots, okay? It is thick and it is solid and straight. So carrot, mustard plant, there you will see the tap roots. Next type of root is what? Next type of root is your fibrous roots, right? So the fibrous roots are the roots that originate from the base of the stem. Now what do you mean by this base of the stem? So as you can see, this is the picture of your tap roots, right? Now we have studied tap roots. Now this one is your fibrous roots. So the fibrous roots, it will be arising from the base, okay? From the base of the stem. So if this is the stem, let's say this is the stem of the plant. So this is the base of the stem, right? So from here, the roots are coming out, isn't it? The roots will be coming out. These roots are your fibrous roots. Clear? So it arises from the base of the stem. It is usually formed by thin, moderately branching roots growing from the stem. So these are usually formed from the thin and the moderately branching roots, okay, which is coming out or growing from the stem. So our fibrous root system is universal in monocotyledonous plants and ferns, okay. So in case of this plant, you will see this fibrous root system, that is monocotyledonous plants and ferns. You remember we have learned about the tetridophytes, where you have seen the various characteristics of tetridophytes. Like these are the plants which do not bear the flowers, right? The ferns. So they will be having this kind of root system, that is your fibrous root system. And the fibrous root system looks like a mat made up of roots when the tree has reached fully maturity or full maturity. So as you can see in the picture, how it looks like a mat, okay? So when the tree will be reaching into maturity, it will look like a mat, okay? It will cover the whole portion of the soil. So in case of wheat, okay? In case of wheat, example is your wheat. So this is the example of your fibrous roots. Yes. Now what is next one? Next one is the last type of root is your adventitious roots, right? So what is this adventitious roots? These are the roots which are arising from other parts of the plant, okay, not from the root, okay. They are not arising from the root. They will be arising from other part of the plant like your stem or the leaves. So roots arising from parts of the plant other than the radicle. Now what do you mean by this radicle? Radical means from where the roots are arising, right? So they are not arising from the radical, they will be arising from your stem or from the leaves, okay? They will not arise from the radical. So this type of roots are called as your adventitious roots. Example is your banyan tree. There you will see adventitious roots. From the stem, many roots will come out. So the adventitious root is made up of group of roots of similar size and similar shapes. So this type of roots, they have got similar size and they will be similar in shape too. The roots that do not arise from the organ of the plant root are called adventitious roots. As I have already said that these are the roots which will not arise from the root, okay? They will arise from where? They will arise from the stem or from the leaves. They mainly arise from the stem or the leaves. And how they propagate, that is how the reproduction is taking place. They propagate vegetatively, okay? That is the reproduction in case of them is vegetative propagation. They reproduce with the help of this vegetative propagation. So as you can see in this picture, in case of this banyan tree, so you will see this are the hanging roots, right? So these roots are hanging, isn't it? So these roots are your adventitious roots, and yeah, these roots are adventitious roots and they are also called as your prop roots, okay? So they are prop roots. It provides support to the plant. Yes. And the life of the adventitious roots is short. The life of the adventitious roots is very, very short. They are shallow and can grow either underground or in the aerial, okay? So the grass and the banyan tree, monstera, all these are the examples of your adventitious roots. So yeah, in this is from your NCERT. So you can see this is the lateral roots, that is your, this is the tap roots from where some other secondary roots are coming on, that is your lateral roots. Then this is the fibrous roots, it looks like a mat, right? And this is your adventitious roots. So as you can see, here this is a stem, right? So this is the stem. So from the stem, many roots are coming out, isn't it? So these are your adventitious roots. So from the stem or from the leaves, the roots, they come out, right? So this is your adventitious roots. Is that clear? Yes. So what is the function of root? It is very, very simple. This is one of your easiest chapter, okay? So the function of root is what? That is absorption of water. You already know that root is responsible for absorption of water, absorption of minerals, and also they increase the surface area. That is absorption of water and minerals from the soil. So just write it down, providing a proper anchorage to the plant parts. That is, anchorage means providing proper support to the plant parts and storing the reserve food material. So the roots are also responsible for storage of the food. And the plants, they store the food in the form of starch, okay? They store the food in the form of starch. The synthesis of the plant growth regulators. So they are also responsible for synthesis of the plant growth regulators. Now what are these plant growth regulators? These are nothing but the hormones which are necessary for the growth of the plant. In case of plants, they require various hormones like auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, okay? So abscisic acid, these are the various hormones which are responsible for the proper functioning of the plant body. So these roots are responsible for synthesis of your plant growth regulators or hormones, right? So next. Yeah. Next is regions of the root, okay? So let us learn about the regions of the root. How is the root? That is the internal structure of the roots. The root, as you can see, this is your root cap, okay? So this one is your root cap. Now the root is covered by a thimble-like structure that is called as root cap. When see the structure of the root properly, you will see that it is covered by a thimble-like structure that is called as root cap. Okay, so what is the function of this root cap? This root cap, it provides protection to the roots. So it provides the tender apex of the root as it makes its way through the soil. So this root cap, its main function is what? It provides protection to the root. So here in this root cap, you can see this portion, right? So here the cells are dividing rapidly. So they have got a region of meristematic activity. So this region of meristematic activity, it helps the cells to divide rapidly. So this region of the plant cell, they have got meristematic cells. So this meristematic cells, they have the capacity to divide rapidly. Is that clear? So you have studied that there are two types of plant tissue, isn't it? One is your meristematic tissue and another is a permanent tissue, right? So meristematic tissue, they have the capacity to divide. So here they have got meristematic tissue, that is few millimeters above the root cap. So few millimeters on top of the root cap, that is above the root cap, they will be having this meristematic tissue. So this meristematic tissue, as I have already mentioned, that they helps in division, that is cell division. So this cells of this, so what they do, this meristematic tissue, they helps in cell division. All right? Yes. The cells of this region are very small, thin-walled and with dense protoplasm, and they divide rapidly. So this meristematic cells, they are very, very thin. Okay, they are very thin and they have the capacity to divide rapidly. So see, this is the internal structure of the root, that is the regions of the root. This is very, very important for your examination. So see, this is very easy. Okay, so here the cells will divide and then it starts growing, and this region, so this region is called as your region of elongation. Is that clear? Next, let us see. The cells proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement are responsible for the growth of the root in length. This region is called region of elongation. So from here, what happens? The meristematic tissues, they will be dividing, right? And they will undergo the region, that is, this is the area of elongation. So see, the cells will be rapidly increasing in number. Clear? So yes, this is like this, right? So here they have got what? Here this is your root cap. Okay, here you have seen some meristematic tissue, meristematic cell. So this area is your region of elongation, and from here you will see what? You will see these are what? These are your root hairs. So these are your root hairs, as you can see here, right? So these are the root hairs, and this is your region of maturation. That is, the roots have divided properly and they have reached to the region of maturity, and this region is called as your region of maturation. Clear? So these are your root hairs. Root hairs, what is the function of this root hairs? This root hairs, it helps the roots to absorb properly. That is, it provides support to the roots. Okay? Yes. And the cells of the elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. As I have said, that this region of elongated cells, they will slowly divide and they will slowly mature. Okay, and after a certain period of time, they will reach to the region of maturity. So hence the zone proximal to the region of elongation, it is called as your region of maturation. So this region is called as the region of maturation. When the cells have divided properly and reached to the region of maturity, we call this region as region of maturation. So clear? This is called as your region of maturation. So from this region of maturation, some of the epidermal cells form very fine and delicate thread-like structures called root hairs. So as you can see, from the region of maturation, there will be thin thread-like structures, right? So how is this root hair? The root hairs are like thin, isn't it? They are thin and they are thread-like structures. They are thread-like structures, right? So from the region of maturation, there will be thin thread-like structures that is called as your root hair. Clear? So that is called as your root hair. So the some of the epidermal cells. Now what do you mean by this epidermal cells? Epidermal cells, that is epidermis means the outer covering of the plant body. That is, it can be root, it can be leaves, it can be stem. Okay. So that is the outer portion, outer covering. So this root hairs, yes, that is the function is the absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Yeah. What is next is your modification of roots. Now these roots, they also modify and they change their shape. Now why these roots, they modify themselves? Because of absorption. They want to absorb the water and for the conduction of minerals. That is for the absorption and conduction of water and minerals. They need to modify them. And some of the roots, they also modify them in order to provide support, in order to store food, and also for also to undergo this respiration process. So this can come for 2-mark question. Why the roots modify themselves? Yeah. Next is your tap roots of carrot, turnip, and adventitious roots of sweet potato. They will modify themselves by getting swollen. As we have seen that the potato, how it is, right? So they will modify themselves by getting swollen and they will store food. So in case of carrot, it is like this, right? So it is swollen, isn't it? So they modify themselves in order to store food. So next, the hanging structures that support a banyan tree are called prop roots. So some of the roots in case of this banyan tree, as you can see, the roots are hanging, isn't it? The roots are hanging. So this is the plant. Here you will see some roots are hanging, isn't it? So as you can see, right? These hanging roots are known as your prop roots. Okay, these are your prop roots. So these roots are called as prop roots. So these are the prop roots which provide support to the banyan tree. Clear? Yes. Now in case of sugarcane, as you can see, this is the sugarcane. In case of sugarcane, the roots, they modify themselves and these roots are known as your stilt roots. So this is found near the nodes. Okay, so these roots are known as your stilt roots. So it is seen in case of your sugarcane. Yes, the stems of maize and sugarcane have supporting roots coming out of the lower nodes. So as you have seen that from the lower nodes of the stem, the roots, they will modify themselves and these roots are known as your stilt roots. Okay, in some plants such as rhizophora growing in the swampy areas, many roots come out of the ground. So in one of the plant, that is rhizophora, where it is growing, it grows in the swampy areas. So in that you will see some of the roots, they come out vertically upwards. So this type of roots. Okay, so this is a plant. Let's say this is a plant. So near the plant, there will be some roots coming out vertically upwards. Okay. So these roots are known as your pneumatophores. Okay. These roots are called as your pneumatophores. They grow vertically towards upwards, as you can see, right? So such roots are called pneumatophores that provides what? They provide oxygen for respiration. They helps the plants to respire. These roots provide oxygen. So yeah, as you can see, these are the various roots like carrot. They modify themselves, right, in order to store the food. So yes, this is your pneumatophores. So this picture is from your NCERT. All right, they grow vertically. Yeah. So far we have learned about roots, right? I hope you have understood this topic. So now let us learn about stem. What is the stem? Yes. So this part is your stem, right? This is your stem, isn't it? So this is the stem. What is the function of stem? It provides what? It provides support to the plant, right? So the stem is the ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. So in the stem, what you see in the stem, you will be looking what? This is the leaves, right? Again in the stem, you will see the nodes, isn't it? You will see flower. Everything is bearing in the stem itself. It develops from the pumil of the embryo of a germinating seed. So as you can see, this is the radicle and this is your pumil, right? So from where the stem develops, it develops from the pumil, right? As you can see, this is developing into stem. So the stem develops from the pumil of the embryo of a germinating seed. So the stem bears the nodes and internodes. As you already know, it will be having nodes, internodes, and the region of the stem where the leaves are born are called nodes, and while internodes are the portion between the two nodes. I have already explained the various parts of the flowering plant, right? You have seen that from the nodes the leaves are coming out, isn't it? And the region between the nodes is called as your internodes. Everything is present in the stem only. The stem bears buds also. You will see buds, and some of the buds may be terminal and some may be auxiliary. Now, what do you mean by these terminal buds? Terminal buds are the buds which is present towards the axis, okay? So, these are the buds which are present towards the axis, okay? Like here, got it? Towards the end position. So, what is this auxiliary buds? Auxiliary buds are the buds which is present in between the nodes and internodes. Stem is generally green, okay? So as you can see in this picture, this is a shrub, that is your tulsi. So in case of them, the stem will be green in color, right? But in case of these mature trees, so as you can see, it is what? It is dark brown. Sorry. So in case of this mature trees, the stem will be dark brown in color, whereas in case of this, it will be, that is in case of shrubs, young plants, the stem will be green in color, right? Yes. So next one, what is the function of stem? What is the function of stem? The function of stem is what? It provides, the stem provides, it bears leaves, flowers and fruits, and also it provides what? Supports. It conducts water, minerals and that is photosynthesis, okay? That is, it is responsible for photosynthesis too. So with the help of the stem, what happens? The plant is transporting water, minerals to all the parts of the plant. So some of the stems perform the function of storage of food, support and protection of vegetative propagation. So in case of this potato, they perform this vegetative propagation, right? That is, from the tubers, the new plant is coming out, right? So some of the plants, that is the stems, they modify themselves and they store the food and they provide support to, and they are also responsible for this vegetative propagation. Now, why the stems, they modify themselves? Is it necessary for the stem to modify themselves? Yes, the plant, that is the stems in the plants, they modify themselves in order to provide support. So the underground stems of the potato, ginger, turmeric, okay, colocasia, they are modified to store food in them, okay? So as you can see, the potato, the colocasia, they will be modifying themselves. Why they modify? In order to store what? In order to store food. In order to store food. So some of the stem tendrils which develop from the auxiliary buds are slender and they spirally coiled, okay, and they will help the plant to climb. They are also known as climbers. So in case of cucumber, pumpkins, okay, in case of peas, you will see that in them the roots are modifying like this, okay. Sorry, the stems are modified. So they are known as your tendrils. So they are known as your tendrils, okay. They provide support to the stem. So you will see in case of this pumpkin, watermelon, peas, okay, and grapevines. So auxiliary buds of the stems may also get modified into woody, straight, and pointed thorns. So some of the stems of the auxiliary bud, they can modify themselves into thorns, okay. So what it does, this thorns, it provides protection. It provides protection against the prey. Clear? Thorns are modified in many plants like citrus, okay, that is in case of lemon plant, then bougainvillea, then they protect the plants from browsing animals, that is they protect the plant from their prey. So as you can see, these are the stem tendrils, that is they provide support. So you can see how this are hanging and like this it will be, right? So these are your tendrils, they provide support to the stem. So in case of your pumpkin, in case of pea or grapevine, they will modify, that is the stems, they will modify themselves in order to provide support. So as you can see in case of citrus, that is in case of lemon, they will be having the thorns, okay. So these are providing what? These are providing protection. They provide protection. So in case of this bougainvillea also, you can see they will be having thorns. They will provide them protection, or they will protect against browsing animals. Yes, some plants of arid regions modify their stems into the flattened or fleshy cylindrical structures. They contain chlorophyll and carry out photosynthesis. Now, as you can see in case of cactus, okay, scientific name is opuntia, okay. So in case of opuntia, you will see that they will modify themselves and they will be having like this spiny structures, okay. So they modify themselves into the fleshy leaves, so which helps them to carry out the process of photosynthesis, and they contain chlorophyll, which is necessary for preparation of your food. So underground stems of some plants such as your grass and strawberry, they will spread to the new in niches, and when older parts die, new plants are being formed. So what happens in case of this strawberry? When the old plant, that is when the old plants it dies, and from there the new stems it comes out. So in that way they modify themselves. And in some plants like mint and jasmine, a slender lateral branch arises from the base of the main axis, and after growing aerially for some time and downwards to touch the ground. So in case of them, what happens? The roots, they modify them laterally. So a lateral branch with short internodes, and each nodes bear a rosette of leaves, and a tuft of roots is found in aquatic plants like your pistia and Icornia, okay. In banana and pineapple, as you can see, in case of this banana and this pineapple, the roots, they modify themselves and they grow upward towards the, that is from upwards portion of the main stem. So in the banana and pineapple, what happens? The lateral branches originate from the basal, that is from the base, okay, that is from the basal, and from the underground portion, what happens? The main stem grows horizontally beneath the soil and come out obliquely upward, giving rise to leafy shoots. So these are actually what? These are actually the stem. They have modified themselves and they comes out and appears like leafy shoots. Okay, in case of this banana also, they modify themselves. Okay, that is the underground stem. They modify themselves into the leafy leafy shoots. So this is all about what is your root, yes, what are the various types of roots, and what is the function of the stem, and why the stems modify themselves, right? So in today's class, we have learned about your root system and the shoot system. So as you can see, this is a stem which is modified into spine. So you have seen in case of lemon, right, citrus and bougainvillea, they modify them into spine in order to protect themselves from the prey. So you can see the roots are arising from the nodes. So see, these are the roots which are arising from your nodes. Okay, so these are your nodes. So these are the nodes, and from the nodes the roots are coming out. So this is a tendril. So see, this is a tendril. So this structure, curly structure, is your tendril, which provides support to the plant. So see, this are some of the examples like ginger and potato. Ginger, potato, where they have modified themselves in order to store the food, right? So remember, the MCQs might come that which type of vegetables they modify themselves to store food. It is your ginger, turmeric and potato. So this is all about today's class. So I hope you have understood all the concepts what is discussed. We have learned about your root system and the shoot system. So if you have liked this video, do like it and also share it with others so that someone will be getting benefit out of it. And don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you will be getting notification of all my classes. So I'll meet you in my next class. We will learn about the leaves. So this is all about today. Be connected with Vista's learning. I'll see you in my next class. Take care. Bye bye.